What car brand loses value the fastest? Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and Maybach. News cars diminish in value, period. It only makes sense that the more expensive the car, the bigger the loss, or devaluation. For average luxury brands, here's my worst to best list. Worst offenders first. Anything Genesis, made by Hyundai, in the $70-90K range, yes they have those, loses value fastest because it's still considered an off-brand for luxury vehicles. I mean really, who's going to pay $70,000 for a second-hand Hyundai? Next is Volvo, unfairly so, good cars. Just not many Swedish fish in our seas I suppose. Next up is Range Rover tied with Jaguar because they are nice when new but once they lose warranty, Freddy Krueger takes up residence in the PCM and everything else that falls between the front and rear bumpers. Followed by Lincoln and Cadillac, nice, but overpriced and thinly disguised Fords and Chevys. In Infiniti, the Cadillacs and Lincolns of Nissan Audi, an over-engineered German wonder that magically falls apart just like its VW counterpart BMW, a used car nightmare. I mean really, I'm surprised they haven't made the exhaust pipe out of a rubber-coated plastic that peels, then breaks off, and lastly smells like old crayons while it blasts a saggy headliner from the muffler of the ultimate driving machine. That's an aging Bimmer in a nutshell. Mercedes, refinement only matched by its repair bill. Porsche, because apparently people have no idea that a little shield doesn't miraculously defy the laws of physics and convert an SUV into a historically rich, legendary, and iconic two-door sports car. So it holds value well, go figure. And lastly is Lexus, an understated, overpriced Toyota which uncharacteristically very reliable for a luxury brand and because of this, holds its value best. First thing, a new car is not an investment as many people mistakenly believe. A car is an expense. An investment is intended to increase in value or to earn a profit. A vehicle purchased for personal use does neither, unless it is a collectible. Hence, a vehicle is an expense. The car brands which lose more value over a short period of time, all cars eventually have little to no value, are those brands which have poor reliability or are viewed in a negative light. In the US, Chrysler, Fiat, Nissan, Mitsubishi and many GM and Ford products tend to lose value quicker than other brands. Brands such as Toyota, Honda and Subaru tend to retain value better. When you buy, you should consider the expected resale, trade value as well as the cost. Oftentimes a vehicle with a higher initial price may be a better value than a lower-priced vehicle due to its resale, trade value. For example, you might buy a new Toyota and pay $30,000. After a number of years you decide to sell, trade, and you get $15,000. The expense in this example is $15,000, $30,000 less $15,000. Or you may buy a comparable, in terms of features, Nissan and only pay $28,000. After the same number of years you decide to sell and get $11,000. The expense is $17,000, $28,000 less $11,000. So, while the initial amount you would pay for the Nissan would end up being a higher cost than the Toyota due to the resale, trade value,